How did I land up becoming a motivational speaker? You know what? It was not my aspiration to become a motivational speaker. The root of the career that defines me lies in a decision that I had made 26 years ago when I was helping my neighbor, Dr. Niranjan Patel, set up, organize, and market his workshops on anti-nicotine and anti-alcohol. That decision that I made 26 years ago still lives with me in my career of motivational speaking. See, your decisions shape your destiny. The quality of the life that you experience, the choice of the career that you have made, the family that you have chosen to grow, the friends around you, your future, the one that you desire, all of that are rooted in the decisions that you have already made and are making on a daily basis. So what is the process of decision making? How do you know that you made the right decision? How do you make decisions when you're under pressure and the stakes are high? How do you make decisions when there are high chances of failure and high risk of you losing? Let's understand the anatomy of decision making, because I believe you cannot change or control something unless you understand it. So let's understand the mechanics, the anatomy of decision making. Let's understand how do you make a decision and then see how you can sharpen it, hone it, and lead it in the right direction so that it serves you. Now, let me tell you, for every product that you see in reality, whether it is you are also a product of your decisions from the past, right? Any product that you see manifested in reality, you can track it down. You can break down the experience to the root core, that inspiration, that idea, that thought process that triggered the decision which led to the journey to what you see today. So let me give you an example, and as I give you the example, you also pick up something that you have created. Okay, let's say, for example, the book that I wrote, License to Live. You see this as a physical product manifested. There must have been a decision behind it, right? Okay, so let's go back. The first thing is you see a reality which is a product of your decision. Let's move one step back. One step back is the decision to make it, which means I got a laptop, I got a pen and paper, and I wrote it. There was a thought or a decision. Okay, let me do this. Let me write the story. Let me write the book. Now let's go one step before, which is a thought. I want to write a story. What shall I write? Let me write a story about this motivational speaker who goes out and sorts the world, who needs some sorting herself. That was the thought that triggered it. But now let's go one step behind. Where did this idea come from to write a book in the first place? Sure, I wrote the story. There was an idea of the story, but there was a desire to write a book, right? There was a desire to become a writer. Where did that come from? Okay, now where does that come from? Because I am a reader. You know, when you read a book and it resonates with you, it answers something, it uplifts you, and it stays with you. And you know, the writer becomes your best friend you keep going to. My God, it is such an uplifting feeling. If you're a reader, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you know how much I have blessed writers, how much I have said thank you. I've even written fan mails and gratitude mails to writers and authors that are long past dead. The thank you, I post it with no address. You know, the thank you very much for writing this. It changed my world. There are so many fan mails I write and never get a response to. And I said, this is magical. I would love to write. I would love to be at this end where I have learned something and I want to put it out. There must be somebody who's written a mail to me and never came around. Okay, so the primary thought, the trigger, came from being a reader, where I said, this is amazing. The money earned through this book is karmically clean, is karmically uplifting, and I want to become a writer. And when that trigger that led to the decision of me deciding to become a writer is clear in my journey, that I'm aware of it, you know what? This product serves me the most. It gives me the most pleasure. And when you see me with my book, you can see I'm the greatest beneficiary of it. Why? Because the root of the decision making is clear. The purpose that led, the intent that led, the inspiration that led to there is crystal clear. Now, what I want you to do in the playbook is I want you to decode your decision making. How did you decide to become an engineer? Go one step back, go one step back, and so on. This is who you are. You reached here because you decided to do something. There was a decision to do. Then you go further back. There was a thought, I should do this. Then go back. There was a primary thought at the core. There was a trigger. There was an inspiration. There was an idea. There was a spark that led you to make it. That is the thought you want to decode and write. This is what led me to the primary decision of taking up this field. And so I started the journey, and here I am today. And when you stand there, when you decode it, you know what? How powerful you feel, because you are reminded of what and why you are there. Now, what if you find yourself in a position or with creating something that you did not decide to do, that you feel so bad about it, that you feel forced into it, and you say, I had no choice, but you made the decision, but you don't feel good about it. You know why that is? Because you were not at the source of the intent, the idea, the trigger. You did not make that primary decision. Someone else made it and imposed it on you, and you decided. Let me give you an example, okay, to explain this. Now, let's say you land up at a party, you're at a party and you don't like it. Now, how do you know that decision was not yours? The inspiration was not yours, or it is forgotten or lost in translation because you don't feel good. Okay, there are so many times people land up where they say that they wanted to get there, but they don't feel good about it. So let's say I land up at a party and I don't feel good about it. Now, you may feel good about it, but I don't like going for social get-togethers and parties. And let's say I landed up at one, I don't feel good about it. But let's go one step back. Okay, I did do an action that got me there, right? I got dressed, I took the car, I gave it to the valet, I walked up and I showed up at the party. There was an action, which means I did make a decision, to wear something good, to take the car, etc., and get where I am. Now, let's go one step further. I thought about it. Okay, now what will I wear? What time will I go? How will I go? What time will I return? Who will I go with? Who will I return with? And so on. There was a thought. What will I take? What gift will I take for the party? Okay. Now let's go one step further. Where did that trigger come from? Where did that primary spark, that source of inspiration, that idea? Was it my idea to go for the party? No, it was my mother's idea. So you see what I'm doing? So you see what I'm saying? It was my mother's idea, an imposed decision, and it led to further breakdown of decisions, and I'm here and I don't feel good. Now, where did my mother get the idea that Priya should go for the party, or we should go for the party? Was it her party? Did she arrange it? Was it her inspiration? No, it was her friends. Her friend told her, it was her thought that you have to come for the party. Now, what was the source, the trigger, the point of inspiration for the friend? You know what? Because she had gone for a party and it was so good. The people had such a good time that the son said that, this is the best thing that ever happened to me, Mom. You arranged such a beautiful party with all the good people and best friends and relatives and family. This is it. Now, this lady wanted to do the same thing for her son, that for once she wanted to hear that he should feel loved, that he should feel special and coming from people who he know they care about him. That was her trigger. That was her inspiration. That was her idea. And guess what? I don't know about it. My mother doesn't know about it, or maybe she does, but she didn't give that to me. And I am on this whole trip and I don't feel good about it. Now, what if I were to track it back and come here and I find out that this Auntie G wants to do something really special for her son? I guarantee you, I don't like going for parties, but if I was forced to go for this one, I would be my best self. I would feel good about it. I would feel I contributed. Oh, I would make the extra effort to make the fellow feel special now that I am there. You see the difference, being connected to the trigger and source and inspiration that led to that decision. So even a decision that compels me to do something I don't like can actually become a point of service and contribution when I connect to the source of it. Your decisions shape your destiny. See, when you are at a point where you love what you do, guess what? Those are people who are aware of that inspiration and trigger, hold it close, and it shows up at every step into the journey of manifestation. When people are not happy with what they do, chances are very high they have forgotten what led them to make the decision, or what led somebody else to make the decision that they are now a party of. So what if you want to change things? What if you want to change the decision? What if you want to change the equation? How do you do that? Well, I believe you cannot change or control anything until you can understand it. So what I want you to do is take out your playbook and take out an event, a manifestation, a product, a reality that you see, and break it down and go back to the source and the trigger. And you know what? When you unveil that, when that comes forth to you, you yourself will feel powerful and in control. And once you do that, you will understand how to make decisions that work for you, that serve your purpose, and that also carry forward the primary intent that you have of serving people and yourself. So get to the exercise, and I will see you in the next chapter.